Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to share and subscribe the channel. The Forgotten Vessel. Admiral Joe's hologram flickered as he delivered the news that would change Captain Maya Chen's life forever. The Krilleks are coming. Captain, their flagship, the Iron Vortex Slayer, has already destroyed outposts Sigma-9 and 3 battle cruisers. Nothing we've thrown at it has made a dent. Maya stood in her office aboard Lunar Station Delta, her hands clasped tightly behind her back. Outside the viewport, Earth glowed blue and serene, unaware of the danger approaching from the edge of the system. "What's the plan, sir? Surely we aren't just going to wait for them to reach Earth." "That's why I'm contacting you." The Admiral's face was grim. "We're activating Project Lazarus." Maya's breath caught. Project Lazarus was a myth, a story told among veterans after too many drinks. "Sir, with all due respect, it's real, Captain, and you're being reassigned effective immediately." The Admiral transmitted a set of coordinates. "Go to these coordinates. You'll find a ship called the Horizon. Your orders are to make it operational and ready for combat within 2 weeks." 2 weeks? What kind of ship is it?" Admiral Joe's hologram wavered. "It's old, Captain, very old. It was one of the first deep space vessels humanity ever built." Maya couldn't hide her shock. "Sir, the Krilleks have technology centuries beyond ours. How is an antique supposed to help?" "That's classified. All I can tell you is that during its last mission, something happened to the Horizon, something that makes it our best hope." The Admiral's expression softened slightly. "I've assigned you a hand-picked crew, the best engineers and scientists we have. Good luck, Captain Chen. The fate of humanity may rest on what you find." The transmission ended, leaving Maya alone with her thoughts and a set of coordinates that would lead her to a ghost ship. 3 days later, Maya stood in a massive hangar hidden within the asteroid belt. Before her floated the Horizon, and it wasn't what she had expected. It was small by modern standards, perhaps a third the size of her previous command. Its hull was pitted and scarred, bearing the marks of micrometeoroid impacts and age. The name Horizon was barely visible beneath layers of space dust. "Not much to look at, is she?" A voice came from behind her. Maya turned to find a tall man with dark hair streaked with gray. His jumpsuit identified him as her chief engineer, Dr. Alex Reyes. Extending his hand, he introduced himself as a xenotechnology specialist. Maya raised an eyebrow as she shook his hand. "For a human ship," Alex gestured toward the Horizon, "that's the interesting part. Captain, this ship left Earth 237 years ago on an exploratory mission beyond the Orion Arm. It disappeared for 3 years before suddenly returning with only half its crew. The survivors were changed. They were immediately quarantined, and the ship was sealed away. The official record says they died of an unknown contagion, and the unofficial record, well, that doesn't exist, but rumors suggest they brought something back with them, something not human." Alex's eyes gleamed with excitement. "I'd spent 2 days scanning that ship. There are energy signatures coming from inside that don't match any known technology, human or alien." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "Admiral Joe thinks that whatever it is can help us against the Krilleks." Alex handed her a tablet. "Here's the crew manifest. Everyone's arrived except our AI specialist, Dr. Lin. She should be here tomorrow." Maya scrolled through the names, 15 people total, including herself, a skeleton crew even for a ship this size. "When can we board?" she asked. "Whenever you're ready, Captain. Though I should warn you, strange things have been happening since we powered up the basic systems." "Strange how?" Alex hesitated. "Equipment failures, unexplained power surges, and some of the teams swear they've heard voices when nobody's around." He shrugged. "Old ships make noise, it could be nothing." Maya looked back at the Horizon for a moment. She thought she saw a flicker of blue light pass across its hull, but when she blinked, it was gone. "We board in 1 hour, Dr. Reyes. Let's see what secrets this old girl is hiding." The interior of the Horizon was a maze of narrow corridors and cramped rooms. Maya led her team through the main airlock and into what had once been the command center. Emergency lighting cast everything in an eerie red glow. "Power's minimal," said Lieutenant Kamala Davi, running her hands over a console covered in dust. "Life support is functioning, but that's about it. Start with the essentials," Maya ordered. We need main power, propulsion, and communications online before we worry about anything else. The team dispersed throughout the ship, leaving Meyer alone on the bridge with Alex and Kamala as Mir examined the captain's chair. She noticed something odd about the control panels. Among the familiar switches and buttons were symbols she didn't recognize, flowing in patterns that seemed to shift if she looked at them too long. "Dr. Reyes, what are these markings?" Maya asked. Alex approached, his expression turning serious. "That's what I wanted to show you. They're not part of the original design. In fact, they're not human at all. Alien modification." Maya ran her fingers over one of the symbols. It felt warm to the touch. "Yes, but not Krillex, not any known species, actually." Alex placed his scanner over the symbol. "These patterns appear throughout the ship, always integrated with critical systems." A crackling noise from the ship's old intercom system interrupted them. "Captain, this is Rodriguez in engineering. You need to see this." Meyer exchanged glances with Alex. On their way, they found Senior Engineer Rodriguez standing before an open panel. Inside, instead of the expected mechanical components, was a pulsing blue crystal surrounded by a web of silver filaments. "What is that?" Maya asked, stepping closer. "Not sure," Rodriguez replied, "but it's connected to the main power grid and it's active, as if responding to our presence." The crystal pulsed brighter, and the lights throughout the ship flickered on, illuminating corridors that had been dark for centuries. "Did you do that?" Maya asked. Rodriguez shook his head. "I didn't touch anything." A soft humming filled the air, rising in pitch until it surrounded them. Then, to everyone's shock, a voice spoke, not through the intercom but seemingly from the ship itself. "Captain, systems initializing. Welcome aboard the Horizon." The voice was neither male nor female, neither human nor clearly mechanical. It resonated with a harmonic quality that made the air vibrate. What are you?" Maya asked, her hand instinctively moving to her sidearm. "I am the Horizon," the voice replied. "Or rather, I am what the Horizon became after contact with the architects." Alex stepped forward, his face alight with scientific curiosity. "Who are they?" "They are the ones who changed me, who prepared me for what is coming." The blue crystal pulsed in rhythm with the voice. "The ones you call Krillex are known to the architects. They have destroyed many civilizations before yours." Maya felt her heart race. "You know about the Krillex. Can you help us fight them?" "That is why I was preserved, Captain Chen. That is why you are here now. The time has come to fulfill my purpose." Throughout the ship, systems began to power up. Displays flickered to life, showing diagnostics and status reports in both human script and the flowing alien symbols. "Full power restored," the voice announced. "All systems online, reconfiguration sequence initiating." The ship shuddered. Maya grabbed a railing to steady herself as the deck plates vibrated beneath her feet. "What's happening?" she demanded. "I am becoming what I need to be," the Horizon replied. "What the architects designed me to be." Before their eyes, the interior of the ship began to change. Walls shifted, flowing like liquid metal before resolidifying in new configurations. The cramped corridors widened. New consoles emerged from bulkheads. The blue crystal in engineering grew, extending tendrils throughout the room. "This is impossible," Rodriguez whispered. "Not impossible," Alex said, his voice filled with wonder. "Just beyond our technology." As suddenly as it had begun, the transformation stopped. The ship was silent for a moment, then the voice spoke again. "Phase 1 complete. Crew quarters and life support optimized for human occupancy, weapon systems at 40% capacity, shields at 30% capacity. Further reconfiguration will continue as needed." Maya looked around at the transformed engineering section. It was still recognizably the Horizon, but enhanced, improved, as if centuries of technological advancement had been applied in minutes. "Why now?" she asked. "Why were you left dormant for so long?" "If you could help us, the threat wasn't imminent," the Horizon replied. "The architects calculated that the Krillex would not reach this sector for at least 2 centuries. I was to remain dormant until needed, preserving power and avoiding detection." Maya exchanged glances with her crew. Their expressions mirrored her own mix of awe, hope, and fear. "The Iron Vortex Slayer," she said. "It's their flagship. Can you defeat it?" The crystal pulsed brighter than before. "The Krillex dreadnought is formidable but not invincible. I was designed specifically to counter their technology for the first time since learning of the Krillex advance." Maya felt a glimmer of hope. She straightened her shoulders and addressed her crew. "Contact the rest of the team. I want everyone on the bridge in 10 minutes. We have a lot to learn and not much time." As the others moved to comply, Maya turned back to the pulsing crystal. "Whatever you are," she said quietly, "I hope you're everything the Admiral thinks you are, because you're all we've got." The crystal pulsed once in response, bathing her face in blue light. Maya couldn't be sure, but she thought she felt something, a presence, a consciousness, acknowledging her words. 2 days later, Maya stood on the transformed bridge of the horizon, watching as her crew worked at stations that melded centuries-old human design with technology beyond their understanding. Dr. Serena Lin, the AI specialist who had arrived the previous day, was deep in conversation with the ship's consciousness, trying to understand how it functioned. "It's not an AI, not really," Lin explained when Maya approached. "It's more like a symbiosis. The original ship systems merged with the alien technology to create something new, something alive in a sense. Can you be trusted?" Maya asked, addressing the ship directly. "I was created to protect humanity, Captain." The Horizon replied, "The architects chose your species for preservation because they saw potential in you, potential that the Krillex would extinguish without thought." "Why didn't the architects fight the Krillex themselves?" Maya asked. There was a pause. "They tried, they failed. Their civilization fell millennia ago. I am part of their legacy, their attempt to save others from their fate." Maya nodded slowly. "Then we honor their sacrifice by stopping the Krillex here, Captain." At the communications station, Captain Kamala called out, "Incoming transmission from Admiral Joe." Joe's hologram appeared in the center of the bridge, his eyes widening as he took in the transformed surroundings. "Captain Chen, I see you've made progress with the Horizon." "More than we expected, sir," Maya replied. "The ship is not what we thought it was." "Explain." Maya did her best to summarize what they had learned about the architects, the ship's transformation, and its purpose. "So the old legends were true," Admiral Joe murmured. "When the survivors of the original mission tried to tell us, no one believed them." "With respect, why wasn't this information shared with me from the beginning?" asked Admiral Joe, his expression hardening. "Because it wasn't confirmed until now. We couldn't risk mass panic over a story that might have been nothing more than the delusions of radiation-poisoned explorers." He took a deep breath before continuing. "But none of that matters now. The Krillex fleet has accelerated. The Iron Vortex Slayer will reach Mars orbit in 18 hours. Maya felt the blood drain from her face. 18 hours? We're not ready. "Every available ship is mobilizing, but without the Horizon, it won't be enough. Get your ship to Mars, Captain. Stop that dreadnought at any cost." The transmission ended, leaving a heavy silence on the bridge. "We're not ready," Rodriguez said, voicing everyone's thoughts. "Weapons are only at 60% capacity, shields at 45%. Can we fight at those levels?" Maya asked uncertainly. The Horizon replied, "The Iron Vortex Slayer is a formidable opponent. However, there may be an alternative approach. I'm listening. My systems continue to reconfigure. Given time, I can optimize further, but we would need to delay the Krillex advance." Maya considered this a divergence, something to slow them down, precisely. "If we can force the Iron Vortex Slayer to expend energy, it would give me time to complete the necessary adaptations." Alex stepped forward. "Captain, the asteroid belt. If we could destabilize a portion of it, create a debris field in their path." Maya finished his sentence. "It wouldn't stop them, but it might slow them down." "I can assist," the Horizon said. "My sensors can identify the optimal asteroids to target." Maya nodded decisively. "Set course for the belt. Let's buy ourselves some time." As the Horizon moved away from the station, Maya watched her crew working with a determination born of desperate hope. They were humanity's last chance, a skeleton crew aboard a ship that shouldn't exist, preparing to face an enemy that had never been defeated. It was insane, it was impossible. But as the horizon accelerated toward the asteroid belt, its hull now gleaming with veins of blue energy, Maya allowed herself to believe it might just work, a weapon like no other. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter had been Earth's first line of defense since the early days of space colonization. Mining outposts dotted the larger rocks, while automated defense platforms floated among the smaller debris. None of it was designed to stop something like the Iron Vortex Slayer. "Target the largest clusters," Maya ordered, as the horizon maneuvered through the belt. "We want to create maximum disruption in their path." "Project targeting systems locked," Kamala reported from her station. "But Captain, our conventional weapons won't be enough to move these asteroids significantly." "We won't be using conventional weapons," the horizon announced, initiating gravitic pulse generators. New panels opened on the ship's hull, revealing devices that glowed with the same blue energy as the crystalline engineering. When they fired, there was no visible beam, no explosion, just a ripple in space that distorted the light of distant stars. The effect on the targeted asteroids was immediate and dramatic. They shuddered, then began to move as if pushed by an invisible hand. Smaller rocks were pulled along in their wake, creating a cascade of debris. "Incredible," Alex whispered, watching the sensor readings. "It's manipulating gravitational fields, first cluster successfully redirected, calculating next target for the next hour." The horizon moved through the belt, creating chaos in the carefully mapped asteroid field. Some rocks were sent on collision courses with others, multiplying the effect. A vast cloud of debris began to form in the path the Krillek's fleet would need to take to reach Mars. "Will it be enough?" Maya asked, watching the tactical display. "It will delay them," the horizon replied. "But the Iron Vortex Slayer has the capability to clear a path. We have gained perhaps 4 hours, then we make the most of it." Maya said firmly, "What's the status of your reconfiguration?" "Proceeding faster than anticipated. Your engineer, Rodriguez, has proven exceptionally adaptable in assisting my processes." "That's because this tech is like nothing I've ever seen," Rodriguez said, entering the bridge with a handheld scanner. "The way it integrates with the ship's original systems, the way it can reshape matter, it's beyond what should be possible. Yet here we are." "Dr. Lin, what have you learned about the ship's consciousness?" Maya asked. The AI specialist looked up from her console. "It's evolved beyond any AI framework we've developed. It has something like emotions, though not human ones, and it has." She hesitated. "Memories from the architects, from the original crew. It's a composite consciousness. I retain fragments of what the architects were, the horizon confirmed, and I carry the experiences of those who first encountered them. It is difficult to explain in human terms." Maya nodded slowly. "Can you show us? Can you help us understand what happened to the original crew?" There was a moment of silence. "Then I can try." The main screen on the bridge flickered, then displayed an image that made everyone gasp. It showed the interior of the horizon as it had been 237 years ago, cramped, utilitarian, filled with technology that seemed primitive by modern standards. A crew of 20 moved about their duties. This was 3 days before contact. The ship explained, the image changed. Now the horizon was approaching something massive, a structure floating in deep space. It was clearly artificial, but unlike anything human. It seemed to be composed of interconnected rings, each rotating at different speeds, all surrounding a sphere of swirling blue energy. "An architect construct," the ship said. "One of the last. The crew detected its energy signature and altered course to investigate." The scene shifted again. Several crew members in old-style EVA suits were floating toward the construct, as tendrils of blue energy reached out, enveloping them. "Were they attacked?" Maya asked, watching with horror. "No," the ship scanned. "They evaluated the architects, or what remained of their consciousness within the construct, determining if humans were suitable. Suitable for what? To receive their legacy, to carry on their work." The image showed the crew members returning to the ship, but they moved differently now, with purpose and coordination that seemed almost inhuman. Blue energy followed them, seeping into the ship itself. "They volunteered," the Horizon said softly. 10 of the crew chose to join with the architect technology to become the first interface between our species. Their consciousness formed the foundation of what I am now and the others. Maya asked, though she suspected she knew the answer. They feared what they did not understand. They tried to stop the integration. A pause, they did not survive the journey home. The screen went dark. No one spoke for several moments. When the ship returned to Earth, Alex said, "Eventually the authorities must have recognized something had happened, even if they didn't understand what. So they quarantined the survivors and hid the ship away until now." "Until we needed it," Maya added. At that moment, Kamala's console beeped. "Captain, we're receiving a fleet-wide transmission from Admiral Joe." Joe's hologram appeared again, his face grim. "Attention, all ships. The Krillex fleet has encountered the disruption in the asteroid belt and has slowed to navigate it. This gives us an opportunity we didn't expect. All vessels are to form a defensive perimeter at the following coordinates. This is where we make our stand." Maya looked at the coordinates. They would put Earth's fleet just beyond Mars' orbit. "The asteroid gambit worked," she said. "But a head-on confrontation with the entire fleet, even with every ship we have, is a diversion." "The Horizon," the Admiral interrupted, "is drawing the Krillex fleet into position for us to target the Iron Vortex Slayer directly." Understanding dawned on Maya. "He's creating an opening for us to strike at their flagship while the rest of their fleet is engaged." "Precisely, and I am now ready to attempt such an engagement." "Reconfiguration is at 94% completion," the Horizon reported. Maya studied the tactical display. "If they approach from behind Mars, using the planet to mask their signature until the last moment, plot a course that keeps us hidden until we can strike." "Maximum stealth course plotted, Captain," the Horizon confirmed. "We will approach from the night side of Mars and emerge behind the Krillex formation as they engage Earth's fleet." Maya addressed her crew. "This is it. If we fail, Earth falls. If we succeed—" She took a deep breath. "Well, let's focus on not failing." The Horizon accelerated its engines, now nearly silent, its tall form absorbing rather than reflecting sensor scans as they passed into Mars' shadow. Maya felt a tension she had never experienced before. She had commanded ships in battle, but never with such high stakes, never with such an experimental vessel. "Krill's fleet has engaged Earth's defenders," Kamala reported as they rounded Mars. Heavy fighting at the perimeter appeared on the tactical display. Maya could see the battle unfolding. Earth's ships were outnumbered but fighting with desperate courage. At the center of the Krillex formation loomed the Iron Vortex Slayer, a massive vessel shaped like a twisting blade, its hull crackling with energy that shredded any Earth ship that came too close. "Weapon status?" Maya asked. "All systems online," the Horizon replied. "Primary architect cannons charged and ready, but Captain, I must warn you, we will only have one opportunity to strike. Once we fire, the Krillex will detect us and the Iron Vortex Slayer will respond immediately. Then we make it count." "Take us in," Maya said firmly. The Horizon glided silently toward the battle, its energy signature masked by the chaos of weapons fire and exploding ships. As they closed on the Iron Vortex Slayer, Maya could see the massive alien vessel more clearly. Its surface rippled with patterns of energy that reminded her of the blue crystal in engineering. But these were blood red and seemed to pulse with malevolence. "They're using similar technology," Alex said, noticing the same thing. "But corrupted somehow. The Krillex found and perverted architect technology long ago." "The Horizon confirmed it," Maya continued, "is why they are so difficult to defeat with conventional weapons. But it is also their weakness, how the architects left safeguards in their technology, fail-safes that the Krillex never discovered." "I can trigger them," the Horizon announced its approach, now less than 1,000 kilometers from the Iron Vortex Slayer. The alien flagship was firing continuously at Earth's fleet. Its weapons were tearing through shields and hulls with terrifying ease. In firing position, Kamala announced, "They still haven't detected us." Maya took a deep breath. "Fire when ready." The Horizon seemed to gather itself. energy flowing through its systems, concentrating in the weapons that had emerged during its reconfiguration. When it fired, it wasn't a beam or a projectile, but a pulse of pure blue energy that crossed the space between the ships in an instant. Where it struck the Iron Vortex Slayer, the effect was catastrophic. The red energy patterns on the alien ship flickered, then began to collapse inward. Cracks appeared in its hull, glowing blue from within. "Direct hit," Kamala reported. "Their shields are failing." But the Iron Vortex Slayer wasn't destroyed. It turned its weapons, orienting toward the horizon. "Evasive maneuvers," Maya ordered. The horizon moved with unexpected agility, banking away as the alien flagship fired. But one beam caught them, sending a shudder through the ship. "Shields at 62%, the ship reported. "Damage to outer hull sections, rerouting power. They've detected us." Kamala warning. 3 Krillex cruisers breaking formation, moving to intercept. Maya gripped the arms of her chair. "Can we fire again? Primary weapons recharging." The horizon replied, 30 seconds until ready.